Welcome back, everybody. I hope, first things, I hope everybody's had a fantastic Christmas. I know I have, and I hope that you're all going to have a belter of a new year. So, and fingers crossed, so will I. The video today is Santa's vein. Now, if you go back to my videos on the 4040, you'll see that I was using a rotor zip well made spindle. I had the 500 watt spindle. I did a separate control box for it and it worked absolutely brilliant, but it had its limitations. It didn't give the RPMs that it should do. As if you watch the video, you'll see that. And it did have a little bit more vibration. It wasn't an expensive one, but it was the cheapest form to step up from the original spindle, which was absolutely, in my mind, it were a bit of an afterthought. To put something like that on a well-made machine, and no, it just didn't weigh up to me. So I upgraded to the 500 watt. I soon realised that I needed something a little bit more sturdier, and you can tell when something's running right, a motor's running right. And that, I stopped the overheating of it, which was one of the other problems with it, the 500 watt. But I actually cured that by 3D printing a cowl that went over it, and that fan that's on the top of those 500 watt motors, it was just blowing air and blowing everything about. It was useless at what it did. But when I put the cowl on, that motor kept cool. I could run it, and it kept cool because it drew the air from the fan instead of out everywhere. It went down past the motor body and cooled. So then I wanted something, and I had a rotor zip, and I thought, I wonder what these are going to be like. So I 3D printed a housing for it, and tried it. To say the least, it cut well. It never faltered. And I'd seen them on Facebook and eBay, and you could pick them up for 20 quid. A really well made, and I think it's around about between 500 and 600 watts. It's quite a, but you don't have a variable speed. You've only 3 settings on it, but it were quite adequate for me. It cut well. I bought the different size collet so I could use most of the cutters that I have. But there's something wasn't that I didn't like, was how you had to actually just press a little button in order to tighten the cutter in. And people that have CNCs knows it's imperative that cutter does not slip, because you'll either plunge too deep if it starts to vibrate out, or you'll snap it. If it comes out, well, it'll fly out. So it wasn't the rest of it, the body wise, the motor wise, the running wise, absolutely spot on for the money. But, and it did happen to me, I was tightening a cutter in, I had the button, and I just give it that little bit extra nip, and then but the button that goes in to the shaft broke. I thought, well, that's it now. There's no way, but you can, because when it breaks it out, so there's nothing left in. But it's a pass-through hole that it goes through. It doesn't matter, you can get it either side on the shaft when you press the button in. So I just use an Allen key, fine Allen key, put it through and tighten the cutter on. And I thought, no, I'm not happy that this has happened, but I've been wanting to upgrade the spindle to what I consider the best one for the 4040, and yes, there's a lot out there. I've seen people putting 1.5 kilowatt spindles on, and in one case somebody actually made the mount and that for it and put a 2.2 kilowatt spindle on. Now I don't have the upgraded X gantry, so to put something like that on the standard one that I've got is, to me, way over the top. I'll show you this in a minute. But so for Christmas, Santa Claus, the wife, she said, what would you like? And I said, I'd love the something for me CNC I want to upgrade to, which I consider the stopping point, but that's my opinion. And that is the 800 watt VFD controlled air cooled spindle. I won't go to water cool on that one, air cooled. And I sourced one on Amazon, and it's still on there now. It's 800 watts. It comes as a complete kit. The only thing you have to do is make a cable up from the VFD to the mains, and from the VFD to the actual spindle, and it comes with a plug, but you've just to put the cable in. So of which I'm going to show that being done on this video, but the first part is just to show you what I've purchased, and it came in at around £175, which for a complete kit, and it comes with a complete kit of ER11 collets, because that's what it is. But as I was saying, and I'll explain why, I think for the standard, and I can only vouch for the standard Sainsmart 4040, is to be the most you really want to go up to is the 800 watt air cooled. I believe you can get a water cooled one. That's up to anybody that wants to get that. I have a water cooled on the main machine, and that's got a 1.5 kilowatt spindle on, and that is superb. It does everything I want, and I don't think it needs to go above that. But yeah, so let's have a look and see what's in the box. I have opened it, but I've not taken anything out. I've only cut it, so it's as it, you're seeing it basically for the first time. I haven't lifted anything out. So it comes all packaged with the foam. Right, first thing you can see in there, we get an instruction book for the VFD and the spindle. That'll be the wiring, just show you the connections of it. Right, there is a cable there, and it's a flat ribbon cable, and I presume people know this better than me, but I have seen it on mine, on my Pro machine, and that is an extender cable, so you can have the control panel for the VFD in the front of a big panel, but the VFD body unit stays within the control box which I am going to do, by the way, because I'm a great believer in controlling everything from the VFD. I do on all my others, so that's a cable. It comes with a mounting plate, I believe. That's what that's for. So no doubt we'll get into that. It comes with 4 bolts, and that is if you're going to mount your spindle using that clamp body. Now I don't use that. I've no intention of using that, because I have actually got the 65mm diameter body clamp, because this is 65mm. The further up you go, a lot of the time it goes to 80mm, so, and I don't have that clamp body, but that's what the bolts are for. Okay, right, a set of ER11 collets, and it goes from 1mm up to 7mm, so you cover most of the cutters that you need. They won't be expensive, because all this is Chinese, but nevertheless, when you consider that I'm going to purchase a box to put this in, which will cost me about £25, when you consider what the actual motor kit costs from some of the other companies, CNC manufacturers, I'm not mentioning any names, but they're way overpriced when you consider what they are. Okay, right, okay, let's get the spindle out. Wow, one chuck key. Okay, one ER11 collet 800 watt 65mm diameter air cooled spindle. Okay, now this is what I'm saying about this. Is, to me, it's everybody's choice, but it's my opinion that is the biggest spindle, separate spindle controlled by a VFD, that you want to put on the standard 4040. Don't know about the upgraded one with the bigger, sturdier X gantry, because that comes in at 2.7 kilograms. Now that is an awful lot of weight to if you put the bigger one on, the 1.5, because it's obviously bigger, 65mm diameter, but it's a bit taller and what have you, and so is the water cooled one, I think, I do believe, for the cooling jacket that goes around. So that to me is the maximum you want to put, because that's all on that gantry. And if you can imagine, if you've got a gantry that's lightly made and you put something heavy on it, the first thing it's going to do is twist that like that. Okay, so you won't have a exact perpendicular cut. So yes, you make sure that your gantry is right, but as I say, this is 2.7 kilograms and it's only 800 watts. So I have seen it, people's put said 2.2 on and a 1.5 on. God knows, it can't. And not only that, your stepper motor's got to lift that, you know, and I can feel the weight of that now. So yeah, this is about the maximum you want to go. If I find it struggling or anything like that, I'll take it off and put it back on. I yet don't know how this will perform on the original 4040. Okay, I do have the upgraded Z-axis because they sent me that, because the bushers came out, so I got that more sturdier one. But there's no way I would risk or want to do anything if my gantry cannot cope with that. I wouldn't be at all bothered about it, because I'd just take it out and put the rotor zip back in. I won't go to expense of buying the upgraded gantry. I'd probably get rid of the 4040 and get a better, more substantial machine that will take this easily. But I bought this, it's a good price, and I think it'll come in useful for anything else. Right, that's that. One plug. This is the one that I will have to make a cable up for, and that goes on top of the motor there. Okay, that just screws in and they put the ring down. Okay, no different really to me water cooled one that I have on the Pro machine, but you've two pipes coming off it, so it's a bit. Let's get the VFD out now. I don't think there's anything else in that. Let's get rid of some of this. Right, this is the VFD. It's 220 volts. Works off it, but I believe in the book there it'll do a little bit more than that, but right, that's the VFD. Okay, as you can see, it's got fan cool in there. Now I'm a great believer in what I would prefer to do, me, is control my I don't have my spindles going through software. Nah, it's just too much, because I have found on the 3030 I have to do that, because it's just how the board and everything else runs, and I don't have a problem with it. It is what it is with that. But my 4040 and my Pro machine, as you know, I work them off the DSP and the offline controller, and that's how I like it. It's everybody's choice. So if I want to control the spindle speeds, stop it, run it, it's all controlled on there. There's a dial there that should control the speed, and then you've got your program buttons. Now I believe I won't actually connect it up and make the cable link, because that's one cable, and then you go into the bottom of the VFD, which is under there. There's a I believe, let's have a look, that's it. So you can see the connections in there. Look, it's pretty simple. I mean, I did have to do my own Pro one, so I should connect them up. It says motor, power, AC in 220, and then you've a lot of other connections up here. Okay, yeah, that's pretty simple. There we go. That's shut off in early. It's only a cover knob, is that? So the knob is actually underneath there, so it just makes it a bit easier to turn. Okay. But now I do believe this is where you see you've got a plug at the back of there. Oh, you can see that. It's got a little plug there. Now that's what that cable, that end flat ribbon, will go onto that. So this then, let me get it out. That's the way around. Okay, so that's how that goes. So you would actually cut an opening out. You can get cases with them already preset, you just snap them out, but I'll cut my own out. That will be there on the front of the case. There'll be an extra fan in the case, like I did with the 500 watt. And then your ribbon cable, that goes in there. One ribbon cable clips in, and that goes on the back of that. And it's quite a lengthy one, so you probably have to coil some of it up. I will. So that's mounted in your case, however you want to do it, which mine will be laid like that. And they'll have another fan on the back of the case, which I can alter the speed. I always like to alter my fan speeds in order to, I can keep the temperature. We'll have a temperature gauge for the case. It's a pretty simple one, so I can control the fan, because in the garage, in the workshop, on a warm day it gets quite warm, so you can control the speed. So if it's and things don't like running too cool as well, you've got to remember that. So there's an optimum temperature, and like in winter time I can knock the fan right down and keep this nice and warm. Okay, rather running temperature, so you can have that wherever you want. And on my Pro machine, that's on the front of the big case, and I had to wire this into the when it came, it didn't come wired in, so it was there, but there was no cable for it. It was all cables were wrapped up, so I had to sort them out. But that's it. And it's a it goes up to 1.5 kilowatts, does this one. Okay, 220 volts. So yeah, I will be doing that, but I will be testing it first, because it's like anything else. Things need. I've got. Let me get this out. You've got to. I've got to make sure that this runs all right. There's no hiccups. So it's just a question of making a lead up. But I think, to be fair with it, for what I've got for £175, that is pretty good. I have programmed VFDs before, because I've had to do it with mine. When it first come, it wasn't programmed, and to do it myself. They're not the easiest things to do, because I've never done one before. Where I worked before, at the biscuit manufacturers, we had lots of machines with VFDs and motors in, but the electrical engineer did that. He set that up. I could do the basics with them, but he used to go into them sometimes and put a new motor on or upgraded something. He used to go in and program it all. And I'm no electrical engineer. I weren't qualified for it, so I didn't do it, health and safety wise. But yeah, so that's a complete kit, and I don't think that value for money, it's bad if it all runs okay, works okay. It's a bargain, I consider, because, and if that machine will take the weight of this, and I don't know, as I say, I've seen other people on, but how good it works and how long the stepper motors, because they're only small stepper motors, you know, and I'm not going to start upgrading stepper motors and this and all that. I'd just sell that 4040 as is and just get a better, smaller machine in. But this, I can use that on my water cooled my Pro machine. So if that motor ever packed in, that will fit straight in. So I could use that, and the VFD will control that, because it goes up to, it's more or less the same VFD virtually. So providing that the parameters will, and it will allow it, but you've got to just check that it runs okay. I could use it on that, and it gives you the data on the motor. It's all stamped on 0.8 kilowatts, 220 volts, 400 hertz, 4 amps, 24,000 RPM, and it's a HTF 65 mil diameter, and that's what the extra collar I got for that I purchased from Sainsmart when I bought the machine. I specifically got that one because I knew at some stage I were going to upgrade. But yeah, so we'll leave it at that for this video, because what I'm going to do now is, for the second part of this, I'm going to make the leads up, show you how I made the leads up, and I will show you it running. Fingers crossed that it all works, otherwise it'd be shipped back. And as I say, getting anything from Amazon, I mean, this was bought a few weeks before Christmas. I ordered this, but there isn't a problem sending anything back through Amazon, and that's one of the things that I like about Amazon. You can get most things, you can get them at a good price, and they don't argue when you have to send them back. So, you know, there is some, as far as I'm aware, for the connections for, like for this, there are some soldering to do. All plugs are labelled, and I don't know whether you can see on the back of the, well, you can't see, it's gone off, but there are some instructions in the book that came with it. Pretty straightforward, and just make a lead up long enough. I have some cable that's 3-core, and it will be, it's flexible enough, because you don't want it too stiff, because you've got to remember is you've got to feed it too heavy, put the VFD box, control box. At the moment, till I order a box for this, I will just, all I'm going to do is just test it on this, and I've got the measurements to this now, so I can order a box to actually suit, which it's not much, it won't be much different to the blue box that I did, if you remember, on the 500 watt spindle. In fact, one of those might do it. Mount an exterior fan so that the air passing through is sufficient. So there you go. Right, that's it. So leave it at that. Don't forget, like and subscribe, thumbs up, give me a thumbs up, and please subscribe if you're watching this video, because it doesn't cost anything. But I do appreciate it, and I'm slowly creeping up to my 1,000. So I don't know how long that'll take, but yeah, and I'm trying to get things done, because I'm, as you're well aware from one of the previous videos, on the 8th of January I'm going in for my prostatectomy, the prostate removing from prostate cancer. So that's on the 8th of January. I am going to be laid up for a couple of weeks or so before I can start really doing the things that getting back into normal. I have a lot of sort of steps ahead of me to get back to full recovery. And I said I'd keep people informed on that, so watch out for the videos. And as I say, that's in 2026, January 2026. So I can't say I'm looking forward to it, but it is what it is. I can't do anything about it. I've made the decision, and it's going ahead. So thumbs up, all's going to be all well. So right, as I always say at the end of my videos, you are, especially this time of the year, I hope you've had a good Christmas, but look forward to the new year. Whatever your plans are, I hope you do them. Your health's good, and all my subscribers and my viewers out there have a fantastic new year, and have a drink for me on New Year's Eve. So until then, you be careful, you be safe, and bye for now. Bye.